Hey guys, it's Thorn. Um, I am. Hi! Oliver's coming. He can't miss videos. I know! I'm working on my manuscript. I got the edits back like a month ago. I know. And, anyway, it's due tomorrow, so I've been working on it really slowly, and I only have a few things really left to do, and I've just been kind of procrastinating. Right? So I thought I would make a video and say hi. I seriously just have to upload some release forms for the people who made contributions to the book, and then um, there's one problem I'm still wrangling with in the writing, and I was really hoping that I could just kind of ignore it and the solution would just sort of like manifest in my sleep or something, but that's not happening. My conscious active brain is actually going to have to solve things on its own, which is really frustrating. So in writing about traditional Wicca, I keep running into this thing where I'm trying really, really hard not to gatekeep, right? Like, just by using categories like traditional Wicca versus eclectic Wicca or whatever, you're automatically drawing boundaries around who's in and who isn't. And I wanted to minimize that because the whole point is writing something that is useful for a seeker, not some kind of manifesto about what is or isn't like real Wicca or traditional Wicca or whatever. So I've been really, really careful about the kind of language I'm using, and anyway, the problem I keep running into... Oh, here comes Oliver. That's not helpful. The problem I keep running into is that when I try to talk about seeking and specific traditions and the variety of traditions, it's practically impossible to not actually name traditions. And like, that sounds like an easy, obvious thing, but when you start really naming people and things and whatever, you start thinking about all the things that you're leaving out, right? I mean, I'm writing about traditional Wicca, right? I'm not writing about Gardnerian and Alexandrian Wicca necessarily. I'm not writing about any specific tradition, and I'm not trying to exclude people who might be largely unknown in wider pagan communities, but nonetheless meet the criteria that I've established as constituting traditional Wicca. And further, like, I'm not an expert on individual traditions within traditional Wicca. Like, I am a priestess of my own tradition, and I've interacted with other traditions more than others, so I'm not just gonna write a blurb for the traditions that, you know, like the top like 5 or 6 that people can name on the internet or something. Like, that just... Anyway, it feels wrong, and I don't really know how this part is going to turn out, but I have to resolve it today. So, here we go. Right? Oh, you're so awkward. Anyway, like, things have been really quiet here, like craft speaking, and they've been quiet for a while. I don't know. I'm not really sure what goes on sometimes. It's been really easy to blame things on the book, right? Like, oh, I don't feel like doing ritual today because I just spent the afternoon writing and I hate my writing and it's draining, and then I have to work and la la la, and so I don't want to deal with circle things, or I don't want to have rituals. I don't want to, like, I don't... That's the space that I've been in. But it's not the book, right? It's not really the book. So then I was trying to weigh other things, right? Like other commitments I've made in my life, or the fact that I'm teaching full-time in my own classroom now, or, you know, like depression, or my usual kind of fallbacks for why I'm not doing things that I know I should be doing. So I don't really have an answer to that either. I'm sure it's a combination of all of these things, and I'm hoping that the inspiration will one of these days just sort of hit and all will be right again. But in thinking about those things, oh Jesus, Oliver, God, you have poop butt. Come on. What? Is it on your paws? Okay, go here for right now. See, there's just like shit. There's just shit like everywhere. No. No. No, we'll have to clean your paws or whatever is happening here. Not right now. Anyway, I've been thinking about like religion broadly. I'm trying to ignore that there's like shit on me right now. All right, fine. Let's just roll with it. There's just gonna be cat shit. Thinking about religion broadly and how like religious devotion manifests in different ways, and in larger, older traditions, like there are different kinds of roles that people can play that like are recognizable as religious. Like you can be a Catholic and like you might choose to be a nun or a priest or whatnot, or pursue some kind of role in the church itself, or you could just be like a godly spouse and you know your Catholicism manifests in some other way, according to whatever other kind of role you've taken in your life. And we recognize all of these things as being different manifestations of religiosity, and that's not a problem. But in Wicca and in a lot of other pagan traditions, right, like religiosity looks like one thing. It looks like lots of ritual, and it looks like stuff, and it looks like a particular kind of language we throw around, and there's not a lot of room for like other kinds of expressions that we recognize as being equally devout. So like and obviously I'm speaking in like broad terms, but like we talk about God, I don't even really know what kind of language we use, but like we talk about people like doing Wicca poorly, or like being bad Wiccans, or like missing something in their Wiccan practice if they're not conducting particular kinds of ritual, or they're not doing things with a certain frequency, and like that doesn't work, right? Because I think we know that like religious devotion manifests itself in different ways. My writing a book, okay, like this is not a ritual act. It doesn't involve, you know, casting spells or praying or burning things or whatever. Like it's just me like drinking too much coffee and writing a book and like hating my writing and like like mostly just like drowning in imposter syndrome. But it's nonetheless an act of religious devotion. Like I'm doing this because it's a thing I have to do, and it's part of like this is part of being Wiccan for me, okay? But like most people aren't going to go out and write a book, and like writing a book is not an expectation that we have for people wanting to express themselves as Wiccans, okay? But I don't know, like religious devotion looks like different things, and I don't think we spend enough time talking about the variety that potentially encompasses. Right? Like, I don't know. We get dismissive of people when they don't do the things that we recognize as like overtly Wiccan or overtly pagan. If they don't maintain altars, if they're not, I don't know, participating in ritual, or even like doing things like praying or talking to the gods or whatever. I don't know, but like people's religious practice manifests differently, right? Like if I trance out and I make like religious artwork or something, or even if I'm just like not trancing and I'm making art, that has like isn't that just as spiritually significant as like engaging in some kind of full coven ritual? Right, like just as an example, if I never like cast any kind of spell again, but I pray every day, and that prayer looks like something that would be more akin to Christian worship or Christian prayer, like, but nonetheless it has a place in my spiritual practice, then does that make me less recognizably pagan? Like, these are the things that have kind of been on my mind as my own practice kind of does this thing where it doesn't, like, I'm not doing the stuff that has historically kind of marked my Wicca, my Wiccan expression. Right? Like, am I practicing less because I'm not practicing in the way that we usually mean practicing? Anyway, it's kind of just what's been on my brain when I haven't been writing, which is what I'm going to go do now, along with cleaning cat shit off of myself and my comforter, because, yes, while he... Oh, I know! While he sits here like he's done nothing. So, bye, Internet! We love you! Oh, no!